Commander Vextar stood in front of the large screen on his ship. The blue planet called Earth spun slowly below him. He had been watching this world for 3 years now. His job was simple: study the humans and find their weak spots. Then people could take over their planet easily. The data on his screen made him smile. These humans were so backward. They still used old rockets that burned fuel to get to space. Their weapons were just metal bullets shot from tubes. Their armies fought with tanks that moved on tracks like ancient machines. Most funny of all, their leaders could not agree on anything. They spent more time fighting each other than working together. "Sir, the new report is ready," said his assistant, a young officer named Yithal. She handed him a data pad with the latest information about Earth. Vextar read through the numbers. Human technology was at least 200 years behind his own people. Their fastest ships took months to reach their own moon. The Zephyrians could travel between stars in days. Human computers were big and slow. Zephyrian computers could think, faster than any human brain. "Look at this." Vextar pointed to a section about human military power. "Their biggest bombs can only destroy a city. Our smallest weapons can crack a moon in half. This will be the easiest conquest in our history." Back on the homeworld, Admiral Krelon received these reports with great pleasure. She sat in her command center, surrounded by her war council. The room was filled with the best military minds in the Zephyrian Empire. All of them agreed that Earth would fall quickly. "These humans show some promise," Admiral Krelon said to her officers. "They are strong enough to work in our mines, smart enough to follow orders, but too weak to fight back. We will make them our servants and take their planet for ourselves." General Mordak nodded his agreement. "Our spy drones show they cannot even detect our ships. We have been watching them for years, and they have no idea we exist. When we attack, it will be a complete surprise." The War Council began making plans. They would bring 300 ships. Each ship carried enough weapons to destroy a human city. They would land in the biggest population centers and demand surrender. The humans would have no choice but to give up. What the Zephyrians did not know was that far below the Earth's surface, in a secret room under the Pentagon, humans were watching them too. Dr. Jake Morrison sat at a desk covered with computer screens. Each screen showed different information about the alien ships hiding at the edge of their solar system. He had been tracking these visitors for 8 months now. Every move they made, every signal they sent, every scan they performed was recorded and studied. "They think we can't see them," Jake said to Colonel Lisa Barnes, who stood behind his chair. "Their stealth technology is good but not perfect. Our quantum sensors picked them up the moment they entered our system." Lisa smiled as she read the latest intelligence report. "Let me guess. They think we're still using chemical rockets and gunpowder weapons." "Exactly," Jake replied. "They have no idea about our real technology, the fusion reactors, the antimatter engines, the gravitational weapons. They think the International Space Station is our most advanced achievement." In another part of the underground facility, Captain Rick Hayes was meeting with his team of specialists. These men and women had spent the last 80 years preparing for this moment. Not 80 years of their own lives, but 80 years of human planning and preparation. "Operation Underdog is working perfectly," Rick told his team. "Every piece of technology we show them is carefully chosen to look primitive. Our real ships stay hidden behind the moon. Our real weapons are disguised as communication towers. Our real computers are buried so deep underground that no alien scanner can find them." The plan had started long ago, when humans first developed faster-than-light travel. Instead of exploring the galaxy openly, they chose to be careful. They sent out small hidden ships to watch and learn. What they found was a galaxy full of aggressive species who attacked any new civilization they discovered. So humanity decided to appear weak. They kept their old, slow rockets for the aliens to see. They made sure their news broadcasts talked about their problems and conflicts. They even built fake military bases with outdated equipment, just in case someone was watching. Lieutenant Sarah Kim was part of the team that managed these fake displays. She spent her days making sure the right information reached alien sensors. "We've been feeding them exactly what they want to see," she explained to new team members. "Chemical rockets instead of antimatter drives. Nuclear weapons instead of Singularity bombs, separate countries instead of our unified world government. The truth was that Earth had not been separate countries for 50 years. The old nations still existed for show, but they all worked together under a secret world government. This government had one main job: protect humanity from alien threats. On the surface, everything looked normal. People went to work, children went to school, and life continued as it always had. But underneath, a vast network of hidden technology kept watch over Earth and its people. Dr. Morrison received a priority message on his secure terminal. The alien ships were moving closer. Their scouts had found what they thought were the best targets for invasion. The Zephyrians were getting ready to attack. "How long do we have?" Colonel Barnes asked. 6 months, maybe 7, Jake replied. "They're moving their main fleet into position. 300 ships, just like we predicted." Lisa activated a communication channel that reached secret bases all around the world and throughout the solar system. "This is Barnes. Alert status yellow. The guests are almost ready for the party. Begin final preparations for Operation Underdog." Phase 2. Across the Earth, hidden doors opened in mountainsides. Underground factories increased production of advanced weapons. Secret spaceports prepared ships that had never been seen by alien eyes. The real human military began to move into position. But to the Zephyrians watching from space, everything looked the same. They saw a world of primitive humans who had no idea that danger was coming. They saw easy targets and weak defenses. They saw exactly what humanity wanted them to see. The trap was almost ready. 6 months later, space around Earth changed forever. The darkness between the stars suddenly filled with massive ships. 300 Zephyrian warships appeared at the edge of the solar system like metal mountains floating in space. Each ship was the size of a small city. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy everything on Earth's surface. Commander Vextar stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the blue planet through his viewing screen. After all these months of watching and waiting, the moment had finally come. The humans had no idea what was about to happen to them. "Sir, we are detecting human activity," reported Sub-Commander Ythal from her station. "They appear to be launching their primitive rockets from multiple locations." Vextar looked at the tactical display. Small chemical rockets were lifting off from Earth, moving slowly towards space. The humans were trying to evacuate their important people, just as the Zephyrian battle plans had predicted. "How pathetic," Vextar said with a laugh. "Look how slow their ships move. Our fighters could destroy them all in minutes. These humans are even weaker than we thought." What Vextar could not see were the real human ships. 50 advanced vessels, hung in space around Earth, completely invisible to alien sensors. Their hulls were covered with quantum field generators that bent light and energy around them like water flowing around a rock. Admiral Ben Carter stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, watching the alien fleet through sensors that were far more advanced than anything the Zephyrians possessed. His ship could travel between galaxies in weeks. Its weapons could shatter entire moons. Its shields could stop any attack the aliens might try. "They're taking the bait perfectly," Admiral Carter said to his crew. "Look at them. They think those old rockets are our best ships. They have no idea we've been watching them since they entered our solar system." The Defiance was hidden in Earth's shadow, along with 24 other ships of the line. Each one was a marvel of human engineering, powered by antimatter cores that produced more energy than entire stars. Their weapons used controlled gravity to tear apart anything they targeted. General Susan Wright watched the invasion from Luna Base, hidden beneath what the aliens thought was a simple mining operation. The moon's surface was covered with fake equipment and small buildings, but underneath lay the largest military installation humans had ever built. "Phase 2 is active," General Wright announced to her staff. "All units are in position. The enemy fleet is exactly where we want them." Luna Base was a city under the moon's surface. Its main hangar could hold 100 ships. Its weapon systems could destroy anything in Earth's orbit. Its computers could coordinate the defense of the entire solar system. But to alien sensors, it looked like humans barely mining some rocks. On Earth's surface, carefully planned scenes played out for the Zephyrian observers. Major Tony Clark led what appeared to be a desperate evacuation of government officials. Trucks and helicopters moved through city streets as if people were fleeing in panic. "Remember, everyone," Major Clark said into his radio. "We need to look scared but organized. Like we know something bad is coming, but we're trying our best to deal with it." The evacuation was completely fake. The people being moved were actors. The government officials were already safe in underground bunkers that had been built decades ago. The real leaders were in command centers so deep underground that no alien scanner could find them. Television broadcasts from around the world showed exactly what the aliens expected to see. News reporters talked about strange lights in space. Government spokespeople urged people to stay calm. Military leaders appeared on camera looking worried and unprepared. "This is incredible acting," said Captain Linda Fox, watching the broadcast from her hidden command post. "Anyone watching this would think we're completely helpless." The Zephyrian fleet moved closer to Earth, spreading out into attack formation. Their commanders felt confident and relaxed. This conquest was going to be easier than taking candy from a baby. Admiral Krelon reviewed the final attack plans from her command ship. "The humans are responding exactly as predicted. Panic evacuations, primitive rocket launches, and no sign of any real military response. Begin landing preparations. We will have this planet under control within 1 day." What Admiral Krelon did not know was that every word she spoke was being recorded by human intelligence. Tiny quantum listening devices, invisible to alien sensors, had been attached to Zephyrian ships months ago. Humans knew every detail of the alien attack plan. Dr. Jake Morrison sat in his underground facility, reading transcripts of alien communications as they happened. "They're planning to land at 12 major cities simultaneously," he reported to his team. "They expect complete surrender within 6 hours." Colonel Lisa Barnes looked at the tactical situation on her screens. The alien ships were positioned exactly where human war planners had hoped they would be. "Perfect. They've brought their entire fleet into our defensive grid. They won't be able to escape when we spring the trap." The defensive grid was humanity's greatest secret. Hidden weapons platforms floated throughout the solar system, disguised as asteroids and space debris. Satellites that looked like communication. Relays were actually targeting systems for weapons that could destroy ships from millions of miles away. Captain Rick Hayes coordinated the hidden fleet movements from his command bunker. "All ships maintain stealth positions. Do not reveal yourselves until the signal is given. Let them land. Let them think they've won." The human plan was simple but brilliant. Allow the aliens to commit their entire force to the invasion. Let them bring all their ships close to Earth. Make them feel confident and careless. Then reveal the truth and destroy them all at once. As the first Zephyrian landing ships began descending toward Earth's major cities, human soldiers prepared to put on the greatest show in military history. They would fight with old weapons and lose every battle, making the aliens think they were winning easily. Lieutenant Colonel Amy Johnson briefed her troops at a base outside New York City. "Remember, we're supposed to lose this fight. Fire your conventional weapons at their shields. Look surprised when they don't work. Retreat in good order, but make it look like you're overwhelmed." Her soldiers carried weapons that were 50 years out of date. Their vehicles were old tanks and trucks that burned gasoline. Their radios were simple devices that the aliens could easily intercept. Everything about them said primitive human military. The real human weapons stayed hidden. Plasma rifles remained in secret armories. Hover tanks stayed in underground garages. Advanced fighters remained cloaked in hidden hangars. The time for showing those weapons had not yet come. As night fell on Earth, the first alien ships landed in major cities around the world. Their massive forms cast shadows over buildings as their troops poured out onto human streets. The invasion had begun. But what looked like humanity's darkest hour was actually the first step in the greatest military deception ever attempted. The aliens thought they were conquering a primitive world. In reality, they were walking into a trap that had been 3 years in the making. The real war was about to begin. The Zephyrian fleet settled into orbit around Earth like a crown of metal thorns. Admiral Krelon felt pleased with how smoothly everything was going. Her ships had taken position without any real resistance from the humans. Now it was time for the formal surrender. She activated the communication system that would broadcast her message to the entire planet. This was always her favorite part of a conquest. The moment when a species realized they had no choice but to submit to Zephyrian rule. People of Earth. Admiral Krelon's voice echoed across every radio and television on the planet. I am Admiral Krelon of the Zephyrian Empire. Your world is now under our control. You will surrender immediately and accept our rule, or your cities will be destroyed. You have 1 hour to respond. The response came exactly 58 minutes later. President Helen Foster appeared on television screens around the world, broadcasting from what looked like a hastily set-up emergency studio. The lighting was poor, the camera shook slightly, and she appeared nervous and frightened. Admiral Krelon, President Foster began, her voice trembling just the right amount. We had no idea that life existed beyond our world. Your technology is far beyond anything we possess. Our weapons cannot harm your ships. Our military forces are no match for your armies. She paused, as if struggling to find the right words. We do not wish to see our people suffer. We formally surrender to the Zephyrian Empire and place ourselves under your protection. We ask only that you show mercy to our population. Commander Vextar watched this broadcast from his ship and almost felt sorry for the humans. They seemed so helpless and afraid. This President Foster looked like she was about to cry. It was almost too easy. What Vextar did not know was that President Foster had been an actress before becoming a politician. She had won awards for her performances in dramatic films. The trembling voice, the nervous gestures, the desperate look in her eyes were all carefully practiced. Behind the scenes, the real drama was happening in places the aliens could never see. Deep underground, Admiral Ben Carter prepared his hidden fleet for the final phase of Operation Underdog. His ships had been tracking every Zephyrian vessel since they entered Earth space. They're buying it completely, Admiral Carter said to his staff. Look at their formation. They've arranged themselves for occupation, not for battle. They think this is over. Dr. Jake Morrison activated quantum computers buried miles beneath the Earth's surface. These machines began analyzing every detail of Zephyrian technology that the aliens had revealed during their landing. Hull composition, shield frequencies, weapon capabilities, everything was being recorded and studied. We're learning more about their technology in one day than most species discover in decades of warfare, Dr. Morrison reported to his team. When this is over, we'll know exactly how to defeat them anywhere in the galaxy. As Zephyrian dropships descended toward Earth's major cities, they met carefully staged resistance from human military forces. Lieutenant Colonel Amy Johnson led her troops in what appeared to be a desperate defense of New York City. Fire all weapons, she shouted as her soldiers aimed their conventional rifles at the alien ships. The bullets bounced harmlessly off Zephyrian shields, exactly as planned. Fall back, we can't stop them. Her retreat was perfectly organized to look like panic. Vehicles abandoned in the streets, soldiers running without formation, equipment left behind. To the aliens, it looked like complete military collapse. In reality, every piece of abandoned equipment was exactly where it was supposed to be. The real human weapons remained hidden. Advanced fighters stayed cloaked in underground hangars. Plasma artillery remained concealed beneath fake buildings. The true strength of Earth's defenses waited for the right moment to reveal itself. Captain Rick Hayes coordinated these fake battles from his command center. Excellent work, everyone. The aliens are landing more troops every hour. They're committing their entire force to occupation duty. This was exactly what the human plan required. As long as the Zephyrians thought they had won, they would keep bringing more ships into Earth's orbit. More landing craft would arrive on the surface. More alien soldiers would leave their ships to control human cities. General Susan Wright watched from Luna Base as alien commanders established their headquarters and captured human buildings. They were setting up communication networks, supply lines, and command structures. All of this made them easier targets for the real attack when it came. They're making themselves comfortable, General Wright observed. Good. The more settled they become, the harder it will be for them to escape. On Earth's surface, Elaborate performances continued in every occupied city. Human civilians appeared to cooperate with their alien occupiers while secretly gathering intelligence. Every alien patrol route was mapped. Every guard post was studied. Every weakness in their security was recorded. Dr. Rachel Kim led a team of scientists who were observing the aliens up close. Disguised as frightened civilians, they collected samples of alien technology and biological material. Hair strands, skin cells, even breath samples were gathered without the Zephyrians knowing. "We're learning about their biology faster than they could imagine," Dr. Kim reported through encrypted channels. "Their atmospheric requirements, their physical vulnerabilities, their dietary needs, all of it will be useful when the real fighting begins." The aliens settled into their occupation routines with growing confidence. Commander Vextar established his headquarters in what had been the United Nations building. From his office, he could see the harbor where human ships sat abandoned and useless. "This has been our easiest conquest," Vextar reported to Admiral Krelon. "The humans are completely broken. No resistance, no sabotage, no signs of hidden weapons. They appear to have accepted their fate." What he could not see were the quantum computers recording his every word. Hidden sensors tracked his movements. Invisible cameras studied his equipment. The humans were learning everything about their supposed conquerors. President Foster continued her performance as the defeated leader of a conquered world. She met with Zephyrian officials, signed documents of surrender, and gave speeches urging her people to cooperate with their new rulers. "We must accept this new reality," she said in a broadcast that reached every human on Earth. "The Zephyrians are now our rulers. We must work with them and hope for their mercy." But to trained human observers, her words carried hidden meanings. References to old movies that meant "stay ready." Historical quotes that meant "the plan continues." Cultural references that meant "prepare for Phase 3." The deception was working perfectly. For 3 weeks, the Zephyrians controlled Earth's surface while the real human military watched and waited. Every day, more alien ships arrived. Every day, the aliens felt more confident in their victory. Admiral Krelon moved her command ship closer to Earth, positioning it in a high orbit where she could directly oversee the occupation. This was exactly what human planners had hoped she would do. "Phase 3 preparations are complete," Admiral Carter reported through encrypted channels. "All enemy positions are targeted. All hidden weapons are ready. All escape routes are blocked." The trap was about to spring. The aliens had no idea that their easy victory was about to become their greatest defeat. They thought they had conquered humanity, but in truth, humanity had conquered them. The real war was about to begin. For 3 weeks, the Zephyrians enjoyed their easy victory over Earth. Their patrols walked through human cities without fear. Their officers relaxed in comfortable headquarters. Their ships sat in orbit like sleeping giants, confident that no threat could reach them. Commander Vexistar had grown lazy during the occupation. He no longer checked security reports carefully. His guards had stopped wearing full armor. Even Admiral Krelon had moved her personal command ship into a lower orbit, wanting a better view of her newest conquest. "These humans are the most cooperative species we have ever conquered," Vextar told his staff during their morning briefing. "No rebellion, no sabotage, no hidden weapons. They understand that resistance is hopeless." What he did not understand was that every word he spoke was being recorded by invisible human sensors. Every patrol route his soldiers followed was being mapped by hidden cameras. Every weakness in Zephyrian security was being studied by analysts deep underground. The breaking point came on a Tuesday morning. A group of human prisoners had been caught trying to steal food from a Zephyrian supply depot. The theft was real, but it was also part of the plan. The humans who were caught had volunteered for this dangerous mission. Commander Vextar decided to make an example of them. He ordered the prisoners to be brought to the center of New York City, where a crowd of humans could watch. He wanted to show everyone what happened to those who disobeyed Zephyrian law. "Execute them," he commanded his soldiers. "Let the humans see the price of defiance." The moment those words left his mouth, everything changed. Captain Rick Hayes was monitoring from his hidden bunker when he heard the execution order. His face went hard as stone. 3 weeks of watching and waiting was enough. The time for games was over. That's it, he said into his secure communication device. Authorization code Thunder Eagle. All units, this is not a drill. Activate all systems. Reveal our true strength. Across the solar system, humanity dropped its mask of weakness. Hidden doors opened in mountainsides, revealing massive weapon installations. Cloaked ships materialized in space like ghosts becoming solid. Underground bases came alive with activity that had been hidden for decades. Admiral Ben Carter stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance as his ship's cloaking field shut down. Around him, 49 other vessels appeared in space near Earth. Each one was larger and more advanced than anything the Zephyrians had ever seen. All ships, this is Admiral Carter, he broadcast on frequencies the aliens could hear. Attention Zephyrian fleet. You are surrounded by the Terran Defense Force. Your ships are targeted by weapons you cannot detect or defend against. Stand down immediately or be destroyed. The shock on Zephyrian ships was immediate and complete. Sensors that had shown empty space moments before now detected massive human vessels appearing from nowhere. Weapons that could crack moons were aimed at every alien ship. Commander Vextar stared at his tactical display in disbelief. This is impossible, he whispered. Where did these ships come from? How did we not detect them? On Luna Base, General, Susan Wright gave the order that revealed humanity's greatest secret. The fake mining equipment on the moon's surface retracted into hidden compartments. In their place rose weapons that could destroy anything in Earth's orbit. Luna Base to all enemy vessels. General Wright's voice cut through alien communications. You are looking at the largest military installation in human history. Your entire fleet is within range of our main guns. Surrender now, or face immediate destruction. The Zephyrians suddenly realized they were trapped. Human ships surrounded them on all sides. Weapons on the moon tracked their every movement. Even Earth's surface was revealing hidden surprises. What the aliens had thought were communication towers suddenly blazed to life as energy weapons. Buildings that looked like office complexes opened to reveal missile batteries. Parks and farmland slid apart to show underground military bases. Dr. Jake Morrison's voice joined the chorus of human communications. Zephyrian Command, this is Terran Intelligence. We have been studying your technology for months. We know every weakness in your shields, every flaw in your armor. Your quantum engines are vulnerable to tachyon pulses. Your hull plating cannot withstand gravitational shears. Surrender now while you still can. Admiral Krelon sat frozen in her command chair. The primitive planet she thought she had conquered was revealing weapons that surpassed her own technology. The helpless humans she had pitied were demonstrating power beyond her understanding. How long? She demanded of her science officer. How long have they had this technology? The answer came from an unexpected source. President Helen Foster's image appeared on Zephyrian screens throughout the fleet. But this was not the frightened, defeated leader they had been dealing with. This woman stood straight and confident, surrounded by technology that gleamed with advanced engineering. Admiral Krelon, President Foster said calmly, humanity has possessed faster-than-light travel for over 100 years. We have been exploring the galaxy while you thought we were still learning to fly. We have colonies in 17 star systems, including 3 within your own empire's borders. The scope of human deception began to sink in. Every piece of technology the Zephyrians had observed was deliberately outdated. Every weakness they had detected was carefully shown to them. Every advantage they thought they possessed was an illusion. Captain Linda Fox activated the real human defense grid. Across the solar system, weapons platforms that had been disguised as asteroids and space debris revealed themselves. Each one carried enough firepower to destroy a Zephyrian battleship. We could have destroyed your fleet before it reached our system, President Foster continued. We chose not to because we wanted to study you. Your technology will help us understand other galactic civilizations. Your crew will serve as our ambassadors when we make formal contact with your empire. The truth was devastating to Zephyrian pride. They had not conquered Earth. Earth had captured them. The hunters had become the hunted in a trap so elaborate that they never saw it coming. Lieutenant Colonel Amy Johnson's voice came through on military frequencies. All human forces drop the act. Show them what we can really do. Across Earth's surface, human soldiers revealed their true weapons. Plasma rifles replaced conventional guns. Hover tanks emerged from hidden garages. Aircraft that could travel in space rose from underground hangars. The Zephyrian troops on the ground found themselves facing an enemy that was no longer pretending to be weak. Human soldiers in advanced armor moved with speed and precision that made alien reflexes look clumsy. Weapons that the Zephyrians could not understand or defend against cut through their forces like lightning through clouds. Commander Vextar tried to order a retreat, but it was too late. Human ships blocked every escape route. Weapons on Earth and the Moon tracked every Zephyrian vessel. Advanced technology that humanity had hidden for decades was now focused on the alien fleet with deadly precision. "This is Admiral Carter." The human commander's voice filled all frequencies. "Zephyrian vessels, you have 30 seconds to lower your shields and surrender. Any ship that attempts to flee or fight will be destroyed. This is your only warning." Admiral Krelon looked around her bridge at officers who were paralyzed with shock. The easy conquest had become a nightmare. The primitive species had revealed itself as a technological power that outclassed her empire in every way. For the first time in her military career, she did something she had never expected to do. She reached for the surrender controls and began shutting down her ship's weapons. The great Zephyrian fleet, pride of the empire, was about to become prisoners of the species they had tried to enslave. The trap had closed completely. Humanity's greatest deception was complete. The battle was over before it truly began. Within 6 hours of revealing their true strength, humanity had captured the entire Zephyrian invasion fleet. Not a single alien ship escaped. Not one human vessel was damaged. The most advanced military force in Zephyrian history had been defeated without firing a shot. Admiral Krelon now sat in a chair aboard the UES Defiance, facing Admiral Ben Carter across a table made from materials that did not exist in Zephyrian science. The conference room around her displayed technology that made her own ships look like ancient relics. Gravity flowed in perfect streams. Light bent in impossible patterns. The very air seemed to hum with power beyond her understanding. "How?" she asked, her voice hollow with defeat. "Our intelligence was perfect. We watched you for years. We saw your primitive rockets, your chemical weapons, your divided governments. How could we have been so wrong?" Admiral Carter smiled without cruelty. He looked like a man who had won a chess game rather than a war. "Admiral, you saw exactly what we wanted you to see. Every rocket launch, every military exercise, every news broadcast was carefully designed to create the impression we desired." Dr. Jake Morrison entered the room carrying a data tablet that projected images into the air between them. The first image showed a timeline stretching back over a century. "Humanity achieved faster-than-light travel in 1953, Admiral. We have been exploring the galaxy for 72 years. The images changed to show human colonies on distant worlds, cities built among alien stars, spaceports that serviced ships capable of traveling between galaxies. A vast civilization that the Zephyrians had never suspected existed. We learned early that the galaxy is a dangerous place," Dr. Morrison continued. "Species after species told us the same story. Aggressive empires that destroyed any new civilization they discovered. Conquerors who saw new worlds as threats to be eliminated." Admiral Krelon stared at the images with growing horror. "You have been watching us. You have been in our space." "For decades," confirmed Colonel Lisa Barnes as she joined the meeting. "We have observation posts in 15 Zephyrian systems. We know your military strength, your technological capabilities, your expansion plans. We have been studying your empire longer than you have known Earth existed." The true scope of human deception was becoming clear. While the Zephyrians thought they were observing a primitive world, that world had been observing them. Every secret of Zephyrian society had been collected and analyzed by hidden human agents. Captain Rick Hayes activated another display that showed the real extent of human space. "The Terran Federation includes 47 worlds, Admiral. Earth is just our capital, not our only planet. We have shipyards that could build 1,000 vessels like this one. We have research stations developing weapons your people cannot imagine." Admiral Krelon felt the weight of complete defeat pressing down on her. Why? Why did you not simply destroy us? You could have eliminated our entire fleet before we knew you existed. President Helen Foster entered the conference room, no longer playing the role of a defeated leader. She wore a uniform that marked her as the elected commander of humanity's military forces. Her presence radiated the confidence of someone who had never truly been conquered. Because, Admiral, humanity believes in something your empire has forgotten, President Foster said as she took her seat. We believe that strength should be used to protect, not to destroy. We could have wiped out your fleet, but that would have meant the deaths of 60,000 Zephyrian crew members. The revelation continued as Dr. Rachel Kim presented her biological studies. We have been observing your people closely during the occupation, Admiral. We know that Zephyrians feel pain the same way humans do. You fear death just as we do. You love your families and want to protect your children. This personal touch seemed to affect Admiral Krelon more than all the displays of human technology. You studied us as individuals, not just as enemies. We studied you as people, Captain Hayes confirmed. We wanted to understand who you are, not just what you could do to us. That understanding led us to choose capture over destruction. The final revelation came when President Foster activated a communication link to the Zephyrian homeworld. Your empire will receive a message from us within the next few days, Admiral. But it will not be the message they expect. Instead of a demand for surrender, the message would be an invitation. Humanity wanted to establish diplomatic relations with the Zephyrian Empire. They wanted to share technology and knowledge. They wanted to turn enemies into allies. We have learned from our observations of galactic civilizations, President Foster explained. War and conquest lead only to more war and conquest. We prefer a different approach. Admiral Carter stood and walked to the window that showed Earth hanging in space below them. Your people will return home, Admiral. Your ships will be repaired and upgraded with some of our technology as a gesture of goodwill. Your crew will carry our message of friendship back to your empire. The generosity was overwhelming to someone who had expected death or slavery. You would trust us to return to our people? You would give us your technology? Some of it, Dr. Morrison answered. Medical advances that could save Zephyrian lives. Agricultural techniques that could feed your growing population. Clean energy, systems that could power your worlds without destroying them. Admiral Krelon realized that she was seeing something entirely new in her experience, a species that had achieved ultimate power but chose to use it for creation rather than destruction. Your Federation, it truly seeks peace? We seek survival, Admiral, President Foster replied honestly. But we have learned that true survival comes through cooperation, not conquest. The galaxy is vast enough for all of us. The meeting concluded with Admiral Krelon signing documents that would transform the relationship between their species. Treaties of friendship to replace declarations of war. Trade agreements instead of demands for tribute. Cultural exchange. Programs rather than occupation forces. As she prepared to return to her ship, Admiral Krelon turned back to Admiral Carter. There is something I must know. How long have you been planning this deception? Admiral Carter's answer would become legendary in Zephyrian history. Admiral, we were not planning to deceive you specifically. We have been prepared for this situation for 80 years. Every aggressive species that discovers Earth finds the same thing. A world that appears weak but is actually strong. A civilization that seems divided but is actually united. And if we had chosen to be peaceful from the beginning, then you would have met our diplomats instead of our military, President Foster answered. Humanity has both, Admiral. We prefer to use our diplomats. Admiral Krelon returned to her ship with a message that would change the Zephyrian Empire forever. The species they had tried to conquer was offering them something their empire had never known. True friendship between equals. As the captured Zephyrian fleet prepared for its journey home, now escorted by human ships as honored guests rather than prisoners, the galaxy prepared for a new era. An era where humanity's greatest strength would not be its hidden weapons but its willingness to turn enemies into friends. The quiet species from the blue planet had taught the galaxy its most important lesson. True strength lay not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to choose when, not to use that power. Earth's weakness had indeed been a carefully crafted illusion, but its greatest strength was completely real.